How can I live without you? She had been fainting, falling down. My wife would insist it was just dizzy spells. I begged her to see a doctor, but you know how expensive that can get. We were both working so much and never seemed to make ends meet. In the hospital, the doctor told me if I had any last words, now was the time. I held her hands. She was so weak she could barely squeeze back. I told her I loved her more than I loved anything. I loved that she had terrible taste in peanut butter, extra crunchy. I loved that even though we'd been married 12 years, I was still too dumb to understand what her job was. And I told her I didn't know how I was going to live without her. She got me close and managed to whisper, "You have to live." I told her I would, but I was lying. Not long after she passed, I got laid off. My parents were already gone. I didn't know my wife's parents. I was alone, broke, depressed, and about to be homeless. I decided I couldn't do all this anymore. I managed to hang the noose from my bedroom ceiling, but I was scared. So to feel better, I put on the Fellowship of the Ring. If Frodo could brave his big journey, so could I. Around the time the fireworks went off at Bilbo's birthday party, I kicked the stool out from under me and hung and swung and swung. And before I knew it, Gandalf was saying, "Run, you fools!" How long had I been hanging? Why wasn't I dead? Now I wasn't scared. I was mad, determined. I shook myself loose and drove to the nearest grocery store. I bought 8 bottles of aspirin and a 2-liter of pineapple Fanta. Back home, I put on the 2 towers and started chugging. I'd finished 5 bottles and most of the 2-liter before I was so full I felt I was going to burst. The credits rolled and I felt fine. Fuck. No more funny business. I went to the closet and grabbed the revolver I inherited from my dad. Old, reliable. I checked to make sure it was loaded and put it to my temple. Before I could pull the trigger, the TV clicked off, and a cloaked figure appeared before me. Get this, with a big scythe. It was the Grim Reaper. Finally, I said, "I'm ready. Take me to the afterlife." The Reaper removed their hood. It was my wife. "Honey, I know you miss me," she said, "but you have to live." I teared up. "I don't think I can. I've saved you twice, but I won't be able to again. It's not your time. You have to live." As quick as she appeared, she was gone. I sobbed. I missed her so much. I put down the gun and went to the kitchen to make a disgustingly crunchy sandwich.